How long you think it was gonna take before we got here? Now you gotta prove yourself all over again. Come on.
Ain't nobody coming, I've been gunning from 100 yards, trying to hit my mark, missing every time. This'll be the start of the picture perfect. Watch you.
Little change in plans today, Mr. Terry. We were going to do Horseshoe Indianapolis, but our good friend Big Boopa, he got stuck in California. He should be home tomorrow. So we'll do Horseshoe Indianapolis tomorrow with the Big Boopa. Terry had some other obligations, but as a great trooper that he is, he joined us, but we had to make some modifications. We had to go with Delaware Park, something that started a little bit earlier, Terry.
Yeah, that's right. It starts, about an hour and a half earlier or something like that?
Something like that. So it starts in time for us to get you out of here in time, right?
That's right.
All right. So real quickly, before we move on to our picks at Delaware Park, which starts at the bottom of the hour. Last night on Horse Center, they had on jockey Martina Rojas. Of course, Terry, you invited her out to Golden Gate Fields, as always, with Sean and Jamie.
Yep, I did. How'd you know? Did you watch?
I watched a little bit of it. Yeah, a little bit, but I don't need to watch to know you're going to do that. Also saw that Jamie launched a book. Congratulations on that. More for ladies than guys, but
yeah,
I guess for the girls in your life, you can order that. You just go to her Forever Wild Jamie on Twitter. I think you can find the link to Amazon or just search Jamie Martinez if it's something that you're interested in helping support her and all of her work. And then tonight, I'm going to be on, Terry. How do you think about that? Me and Sean together again tonight, 8 o'clock with Thomas Kearney. He is a standardbred caller and also a big fan of thoroughbred racing. So at Shenandoah Downs, it'll be interesting to get some perspective if you like to do the standardbreds, the harness racing. I always want to call it harness racing, and then standardbred, I get kind of like stuck in between. What do you call it?
I call it pacers and trotters.
Well, there you go. Pacers, trotters, standardbred, whatever. It's those horses. It's a throwback to the time of the Romans, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's much fun. I like it. My wife doesn't like it because she always gets beat at the end. She always is in front. Some horse comes like a bomb and passes her, and she always goes, ah.
I don't like it because they can break stride, and then they have to kind of shuffle all the way back to the next open spot.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Yesterday, we promised that Parks would be the free track of the day today. So indeed it is. So Parks Racing coming up in a little bit as well. Race number 1, the 6-horse Petulant Delight is the first pick for the day over at the Ben Salem track. So again, you can get that down in the description below. It's a horse to guarantee tip sheet. Please use that so they know where you're coming from. All right, Terry, we got all of the particulars, I guess, out of the way. So let's get the picks going. What do you think?
I think that's great.
1 mile, the first race, maiden claiming 12,500 on opening day. I think today's opening day at Delaware Park.
It is.
All right, just want to make sure they didn't sneak one in beforehand. Last year at a mile, it was pretty fair, about 50-50 between speed horses, stalkers, and closers. 19%, however, did go wire to wire. Every post position except 4 through 7 played a little bit under par last year. Terry, as we like to do around here, we do some simulations early up. First up, we do for I'm in race number 7. Why am I in race number 7, Terry?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we should be in race number 1. We'll get to race 7 in a minute, but 1,000 simulations using speed figures to get a sense of what fair odds might be. So we do 1,000 races, and based upon the horse that wins those races, we go ahead and calculate those odds out. The lower, the better, much like the tote board. Quarter-mile marker, also looking to see who's likely to be your leader, especially since speed is such a prevalent way to win in the Americas. And then finally, C-zone, which is measuring how likely this horse is to get a trip that mirrors some of its better races. All right, Terry, what do you see for early speed?
Well, there's some speed in here. The 4, 7, and 5 have speed, but it looks like the 4's got the most speed, probably going to get that quarter pole first. As far as the overlays, that 4 does have a small overlay. It's supposed to be like, 7 to 5, and it's listed at 8 to 5. And then you got the number 5 has a nice overlay, it's supposed to be just under 2 to 1, and it's listed at 5 to 1 on the morning line. As far as the C zones, look at the 5's got a really good C zone number, and the 1 and the 7 also have good C-zone numbers. So.
A little light for both of them, though. So you wonder if maybe this race could be uncomfortable for everybody. Yeah. And I'm off in race number 8 here. Race number 1, you see Our way to the winner's circle worksheet, although none of these horses have won, obviously, in the maiden claiming. It's the running style. So far, the 4 and the 6 closers, those have been the only two that have been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish wire. So this race is pretty much, I think, wide open and fair, Terry. The 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, they get the NCs because at the end of the race, they haven't been within 5 lengths of the leader. So early speed might play a difference in this game. You do have a 6-point advantage for Happies. Late speed goes to the horse wearing the 6 horse, Curtis. Gets a lot of ease at the end of these. The early speed, late speed combination favors the 5. So it looks like the 4, 5, and 6 might be the 3 that you're looking at in here, Terry, although the 7 might have some say as well. What's your say?
Well, I like the 6 to start with. Curtsies. He drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He actually tied with Happy Eyes. Happy Eyes?
Happy Eyes.
Yeah, number 4, my second pick. He finished 9th as the favorite, but he has a trainer who wins 17% of the races when he brings a favorite back to race again and has the best dirt speed among today's starters. Number 5, Gaming Souls, my third pick. He finished 3rd in his last race. And then as my long shot, I like Swallow Beach. Number 2 has a bullet workout on May 16th. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 5. I'm going to play the 4-6 with the 3, with the 7-8, with the 1-2-4, with the 4-5.
So yes, Terry's mentioning what he's going to play. We have a $100 budget, and we have to make all of our bets fit within that window. I just changed my trifecta there, Terry, so keep an eye out on that when you update that in the sheet. But 50-cent trifecta for me, 2-4-6 over the 2-4-6 over the 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I switched the 3 out for the 7 after looking at the EPLP stuff. Okay. I like the 6 horse and the 4 horse, just like you on top. Curtis is the biggest class dropper, making the 3rd start off the break. I don't like the fact that it's going to be low odds. Happy Eyes, the 4 horse, comes in from Tampa Bay Downs. I think it's probably a little bit of a track drop, another track near the water. And this is another horse making the classic 3rd start after a layoff. Swallow Beach, the 2 horse. I'm going to take a flyer here after running his best workout of all of his listed workouts. And then Gaming Soul, the 5, could be the pace setter in here and catches a weight break today. I think it's a pretty good one, too, if I remember correctly. The track now, opening day, so cool. Looking at Daniel Kendall's autograph number 7, looks like live race 1. Yes, it does look like a race 1. Hey, often to Delaware Park. That's something we got to do, Terry, is go to opening day somewhere.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, I know we're going to be down there. I don't know if you're going to join us, but Tom and I are going to go to Kentucky Downs from September the 7th through the 10th, I think. So if you're in that neck of the woods, please stop by and say hello. We're always looking forward to meeting people. The second race today, an opening day at Delaware Park. They're going to run a mile again. Terry, we mentioned last year it was about 50-50 in terms of running styles. 19% did go wire to wire. Everybody but 4 through 7 performed a little bit under par. In the second race, Terry, once again, we're going to go through what the simulations tell us and what it might mean.
Yeah, look at that one, boy. It's got lots of speed, and so that one should get to the quarter pole first, maybe, and especially because it has the benefit of the rail. And then the 3 has some speed to maybe give it a little bit of problems. The 5 has a small overlay, just very small. It's supposed to be just over 2-1, simulated odds at 3-1 on the morning line. All of them have pretty good C-zone numbers, but the 3.
Yeah, Smart Humor. The one we both have first is going to be the most uncomfortable. Sometimes I wonder, what are we thinking? In the second race, our way to the winner's circle worksheet, we see the 1 horse. The Cholera Kid, that's what you want to be, the Cholera Kid, does have a lone E signal in here, meaning he wants to be on the lead. And according to the most recent pace figures, has a really good shot at getting that done. It looks to me like he's got about a 9-point advantage. That equates to almost 2 lengths. He can hang on to the end, could be difficult. But in the end, it looks like Sydney's bid and Smart Humor, they have a 10-point advantage over all the other pressure type horses. So maybe the 1, 2, and 3. Somewhere in that order could be the ones that are the most likely to win this race, Terry. If the 1 can run decent fractions, I think he's got a shot. We both started with the 3 horse, didn't grade out well in the simulator for the C-zone, but he graded out well in our handicapping.
Yeah, Smart Humor ran second versus Tougher in his last race and drops in class today. Has the highest last speed rating. My first pick, number 5, Titus.
Triple Tito's. I guess that's like that Tito's gin, right? Or is it vodka? I don't know. I don't drink anymore, so.
Well, I
didn't probably should. That. Would make me feel better at times.
I don't know. Maybe not. It's number 5 horse. He ran second in his last race, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Sydney's Bid, the 2 is my third pick. Drops. He ran third versus Tougher in his last race and drops in class today. And then the 1, the Cholera Kid. He drops in class today and has a trainer who wins 28% of the claiming races he has a horse in. And this horse is my long shot. I like the 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to play the 3-5 with the 7-8 with the 1-2-4 with the 4-5.
I also started with the 3 with the bad C zone in here. Did run the top last race. Speed figure down at Tampa Bay Downs. Going to drop in class here and usually improves second up off the break. I'm going to go with that speed horse in my second one. The Cholera Kid has some early speed in previous races. Looks like he's going to get to the jump on these guys here today. Decent workout between races as well. And then it's going to catch a 10-pound weight break today. I really like early speed with a lot of less weight to carry. Should be able to hold it longer. Triple Tito's. This one is got the top Delaware Park numbers and improved in the second half of its last start. It has a workout between races and another that should improve in the second start after some time in the barn. Finally, real tough call between the 2 and the 4 for me, between Wild Irishman and Sydney's Bid. But I went with Sydney's Bid probably because it's the most consistent horse in this race from race to race to race to race, but just doesn't win, Terry. I'm going to do a pick 4 here. I'm going to go the 1-3, and then I'm going to go 5, 6, 7, and 8 in race 3. In race 4, I'm going to go 1, 2, and then race 5, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
All right.
So I got the last, look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to end the, let's see, hopefully it works out that way. So do we have a little bit of time to get ready for race number 3, Terry?
I think we have 3 minutes.
Yeah, and I think there one's a dilly-dally around a little bit over there too, so I could be wrong. On the third spot today is a mile 70 yards on the turf, maiden special weight, $38,000. Maiden special weight. The turf for a mile and 70 yards does favor early speed. It did last year anyway. A lot, 35% of the horses went gate to wire. You do see there is a very strong inside-out bias, and any horse from 4 and out got a big discount last year. Unfortunately, I don't think the best horses are on the inside 3 today, Terry. In the third race, speed might matter. It looks like most of the speed, well, you got Tafani and then everything else on the outside.
That's right. The 4 and the 10 and the 9 all have to show some speed. It might be the 4 and the 10 trying to race there to get that quarter pole first. The 7's got a little bit of an overlay, just under even money, and it's set at like 8 to 5, 9 to 5 in the morning line. The 8 has a small amount of overlay too. It's supposed to be 1.5 to 1 versus 2.5 to 1. And as far as C zones, the 9, the 2, the 8, and the 10 have the best C zone numbers.
And that 9 standing out by itself, and a horse that neither of us have in our picks. In the third race, the race shape looks to me like, well, you don't have any true early speed types in there, so there's nothing that's lead dependent. The 5 and the 10 are the 2 that want to be closer to the front. They're pressure horses. Everybody else is either the 3, 6, 7, 8, a closer, or the 2, 4, and 9. They haven't been involved within 5 lengths at the end of any of their races. Looking at the early speed, the 4 and the 10, the 4 horse in here, those never close. I've seen a lot of these never close horses that show some speed actually get themselves into the money a little bit later on. The end of the race, the 7 and the 8 will be coming the fastest. The 2 closers, or Determined Gold, those 3 all closers will be coming at the end. As far as the early speed, late speed combination, Sunbee with a 9-point advantage over Ragtime Bell, 10-point over to 10 and the 4. Anytime you see it closing in on 10, folks, it's a horse that you want to have in your picks. May not win, but certainly worth wheeling in your exactas and trifectas. Gary, you got the 8 horse to start it off.
I do. And the 8 horse Ragtime Bell, she finished third versus Tougher in her last race, drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating. Her best turf speed is fastest among today's starters. Then the 7 Sunbee, she ran second versus similar in her last race and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then the 10, she was my third pick. She ran second in her last race. I like Creo as my long shot, the 5. She is trying grass for the first time, but she has a dam who has 2 winners from 3 starters, and one of them was a turf runner. She has a bullet workout on May 17th. You know, I think this is pretty close between the 8 and the 7. So I'm going to do a $5 exacta box 7-8.
Okay, and I'm going to start off with the Sunbee, the one with that 9-point early pace, late pace advantage over everybody else. And this is my good friend Chris Parmalu angle. His favorite angle in all horse racing is when a horse in the maiden finished second in the prior race. You bet at the next race because it only had to beat one horse. It's going to get that done. Last time, only second by a head. It showed more late energy. Number 5, Creole. You can't ignore Team Brittany and Sheldon Russell. They're a dynamic duo, both at home, I guess, and on the track. This one's well-bred for grass. First time Lasix, and since it's gotten that Lasix, a bullet workout. Now it's going to go back to work. Number 8, Ragtime Bell, probably the biggest class dropper in here coming off the top last race. Speed figure. Interesting to note that in its short career, it's the first time it's made 2 consecutive starts in a row. So maybe the horse is finally healthy. And then finally, number 6, Determined Gold, big time up its 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers. According to Craig Milkowski, that is a sign of a horse rounding into form. That was at Keeneland in a $100,000 maiden special weight race. And then this is going to be the second start after a layoff. 2 of the 3 times the horse has made it to round 2 off the bench. It improved. For me, trifecta, 5-7-8 over the 5-7-8 over the 5-6-7-8 and the 10, Mr. Terry.
All right.
So looks like they're loading up for race number 1. So let's go back to our picks for race number 1. As it stands now, the 6 horse is the 7-5 favorite. The 4 horse is the second choice at 5-2. The 7 horse, the one I added in at the end there, Marcus Junius, is the top pick for the track handicapper. At is 7-2. Everybody else, well, the 5 horse is 5-1. Everybody else, folks, is above 10-1, with the 1 horse being the longest shot, Principe, at 30-1. Looks like they're all in, according to our analyzation here. It looks like we should see the 4 outside horses compete for the lead. Well, at least the 4, the 5, and the 7. That trio should come out of the gates with the dirt flying, and one of those likely to be your leader at the quarter-mile marker. And it looks to me like the 6 horse got the sharpest break. The 7 horse is right to its inside. 5 horse, a little bit of a delayed start there, so he's going to kind of rush up. Unfortunately for those outside horses, they all kind of got pushed wide on the first turn. The 6 horse kind of got shuffled back a little bit there, Terry. So the 7 horse has definitely moved up. You got the 2 on the rail with the 3 in between horses with the 7. And then you have a little bit of a gap of about maybe a tail to the 1, the 4, and the 6. The 7 has taken control at 6-1 right now. You have the 5 horse now looming up to the outside. How far are they running here, Terry? A mile?
Yeah, I think so.
So the 7 continues to be your leader, is being pressured by the 2, the 3, and the 5. They're not showing any quarter or any times here, so I don't know how fast they're running.
Yeah.
It looks to me like the 7 is running pretty easily, to be honest with you. It doesn't look like he's really shortening up much on a stride. The 6 horse is beginning to make its move. It's moving pretty aggressively right now. I think he's got a good shot to maybe catch this 7, but it's going to be some more. No, that's actually the 5 horse.
It is.
That's the 6 horse. Yeah, I think the 6 horse is going to collar him and go by him. The question is anybody else going to go by him? Well, the 6 horse kind of blowing the turn a little bit, so it's an interesting race right here. So as they come down the stretch, the 6 is he's going to rally by him, Terry. I think he might rally by. I don't think he's going to. It looks like the track handicapper got this one right with the 7 horse, Terry.
Oh boy.
Yes, he did. So Marcus Junius is your winner, the 7 horse. So it's going to go 7, and he's letting up on the 7, 6, and then the 2, I think 7, 6, and 2.
Yeah, he had a lot of horse there. He was standing up on it, coming out of the turn even.
Mm-hmm. Well, once again, we find here, Terry, that Marcus Junius, 8-1 to 10-1, so fairly valued early out, but also 2 of the strongest numbers in terms of the early pace and the C-zone score. I think one of these days I'm just going to make all my picks the top C-zone scores and just leave it be.
Yeah, might work out like that, huh?
Yeah, I've seen it over and over and over again. Maiden claiming 12. That's why I didn't really want to commit a whole lot to it. All right, race 4. We go back to 1 mile and 70 yards. This time they're going to go on the dirt instead of the turf. Last year at 1 mile and 70 yards on the dirt, Tactical Speed won. 23% of the horses went wire to wire. Slight outside to inside bias, Terry. So if anybody in race 4 is going to go wire to wire, Mr. Terry, looks like it could be on the inside, not on the outside.
That's right. We have 2 horses on the inside's got speed, the 1 and the 2, and then the 5 on the outside has a little bit of speed too. So, but I think it'll be the one or 2 that gets there first. A small overlay on the 2, not much. It goes from even money to about 6 to 5, something like that, or 7 to 5. And then as far as C zones, the 4, 6, and 5 have the best C zones.
And the 1 kind of joins them as well.
Yeah.
Back to race number 4, our way to the winner's circle. Again, no pure front runner in here, Terry. You've got some versatile horses, though, with the 1, 2, 4, and 6, your PC types. So looking at the early speed, it does look like the 1 horse should be the 1, May the Horse Be With You. And the 2, those 2 should get out to the lead, although everybody but Burgee looks like it can have a shot at the lead. The late speed belongs to Lord Burgee. Again, minus the 5-horse Chrome Finish, everybody within a few points of one another. This should shape up to be a competitive race, although the 1 and the 2 have a little bit of advantage over the 4. It's a little bit of advantage over the 6 and the 5. I think pretty much, according to this, really it looks like any horse can win.
Yeah, it is pretty wide open, I think. I like the number 4 as my first pick. Is Lord Darley. He has won 2 races out of the last 3 starts, running second versus similar in his last race. This shorter distance can help. And number 2, Mystic Link. He has won 2 races out of the last 4 races and has the highest last speed rating. He's my second pick. My third pick is the 1 horse, May the Horse Be With You. He drops in class today, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then as my long shot, I like the 6, Burgee. He drops in class today and can improve while returning to dirt. I'm going to play another pick 5. I'm going to play the 1, 2, 4 with the 4, 5. With the 4, 5, I'm going to single the 11th and the 7th, and then I'm going to finish up with the 2, 3, 7, and 8.
So live from the track, we got the number 7 looks live in race number 1 from Kaba, and indeed, he called that one definitely the alpha in the paddock. JT Brew today, turf plays for the day. Delaware race number 7, Wicked Finn, the 6-horse getting the top nod from JT Brew. In the 4th race, I like the 2-horse to be the winner here. Terry, Mystic Link, top last race, speed figure, second by a neck, showed some improvement early on and late in its race, and it's going to drop in class off the top last race speed figure. I'm a big fan of that combination. May the Horse Be With You, the 1 horse, the one that could compete for the lead early on with that 2-horse. It has probably the most upside in this race, in my opinion. I'm not sure what happened in the last start where the horse just didn't fire. So let's see if a drop in class in another race gives this horse back to form. 6th, Burgee, tough call over the 4, but has been consistently better than the 4 from race to race. And Lord Darnley is a track dropper and has been showing some early speed of late. I just skipped this race because there's only 5 horses. And one thing I will point out is if you're playing a contest at Delaware Park, when we talked with Scott Fiedler, he mentioned that in these 5-horse races, the strategy is always to take the longest shot on the board. So keep that in mind in there. Yep. $5 try to kick it off. I'll take it. Hell yeah. You're always going to be happy when you hit the winners, right, Terry?
That's right.
Where else can you quadruple your money in a minute and some odd seconds?
That's right. It's not easy to do.
No. And nowadays, too, if you triple it, by the time you get to the store, it might cost that much again. Race number 5 is, again, 1 mile and 70 yards on the turf course, as we mentioned last year, at 1 mile 70 yards on the grass. Early speed favored the winners. 35% of the horses went wire to wire. There's a very strong inside to outside bias. Big discount if you wear that 4 or out. So inside speed, Terry, in race number 5 might be the way. And of all those horses on the inside, boy, Lusty sure looks like it's on the inside. It'll be the 3-post because the 1 is not in this race. Should be blazing when they start.
Yeah, sure should be. It looks like there's no other speed really much in here. And also the 4 has a overlay, a pretty nice overlay under even money simulated odds and 5-2 morning line. And then all of them have good C-zone numbers except for the 2, 3, and 9.
Yes, it looks like it should be a very race that sets up very well for everybody. In the fifth race, the 4-horse Lusty is the EP type, showing it can be on the lead, but not necessarily lead dependent. Boy, look at that early speed right there, Terry. A 100. Everybody else is about 15 points lower. There's no question that horse should be your front runner. The 3 and the 10, they're first-time starters, so you're not quite sure what they're going to bring to the table. Maybe one of them realizing that the 4-horse has that early speed advantage. Maybe a couple of others will try to snuggle up to it, keep it honest. When they come home, Perfectly Golden, Gypsy Queen, well, all of them have some pretty good late speed. The 4-horse better get a pretty big lead because it does look like it does tail off at the end. And then finally, the early speed, late speed combination, nice 5-point advantage for Lusty. Perfectly Golden right behind that. That's 8 points ahead of everybody else. So that duel right there should be difficult to contend with. I wouldn't be surprised if both end up in the money. Just remember, just the order will be the question.
All right. Well, it looks like JT Brew likes it Parks in the 5th race, the number 4 horse, Royal Party. And in the 10th race, he likes the number 8 horse, Filtered Light. And then hello there to Razor Sharp Picks, Delaware Park opening day today. Yep. How's it going?
I did get your note. I didn't have a chance to see your response yet, Razor, but we're going to definitely work on some great content together to take over YouTube, my friend. Mr. Beast, look out. Razor and Rich and Terry and Sean, we're coming for you.
All righty. Well, in this race, I like the number 4 Lusty. She ran second versus Tougher in her only start, drops in class today, and has a trainer who wins 58% of the races. In the second route race, he has a horse in. And then number 5, Perfectly Golden is my second choice. She finished third versus Tougher on the dirt in her last race, but her breeding suggests she'll like the grass, as her dam has 2 winners from 3 starters. One of them was a turf winner. She has a bullet workout on May 17th. Then I like the 8, Kate's Top Dancer. She drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey. My long shot is She's Like Thunder. The 2 horse drops in class today. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 4, 5, 6, 7 with the 4, 5 with the 10, 11.
Are you sure that's what you want to use? Because you have 4, 5, 2, 8 in your.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 4. Yeah, it should be 4, 5. It should be 2, 4, 5, 8.
Okay.
So, and then I'm going to use the 4, 5 with the 11, 10, 11 with the 2, 3, 7, and 8.
2, 4, 5, and 8. I changed it for you, Terry.
Thank you.
We got that correct, I hope. I also like, and maybe we should just single up that 4 with all that early speed, that overlay, and the strongest C-zone score in there. Again, Team Russell, Sheldon and Brittany Russell. Decently bet in its debut. Our friend Chris Parmalou's second place angle again in the maiden ranks. Trainer Brittany Russell in the second career start wins almost a third of those races, 32%. Dazzling Didi, strong breeding for the grass for this first-time starter and got a good works pattern getting prepped. Jeremy Rose in the irons, good friend of the show, been on Horse Center. Make sure you Google that. You can find all of that stuff, of course, on our Horse Racing Radar TV. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and thumbs up if you like what you see. And if you don't like what you see, give us a thumbs up anyway. Helps us with the algorithms. Gypsy Queen, the 6 horse, been well bet in both of its races. 3 works, nice works between races. Going to be more fit today for sure. And then finally, Perfectly Golden. First off the claim for the Parks dominant Jamie Ness. It's a 31% angle. This horse is coming in from Oaklawn Park. I know it has a bullet workout on the Delaware dirt. I just wonder if it's a dirt horse, to be honest with you. Maybe Jamie was hoping to get some weather in this race to be moved to the dirt. If it has the turf ability, it might be the best horse in this race. I'm going to do a pick 4, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the 4, 5, with the 7, 8, 10, 11. Then I'm going to close it out in the last race with the 2 and the 7. Race 6, Mr. Terry. In this case, we're going to run this is for the first time today. We're going to see 5.5 furlongs, short sprint in here, Terry.
All right.
5.5 furlongs. So 5.5 furlong profile of a winner. Again, all this data from last year. So you would expect in a short race, 50 strong early speed bias, almost 40% of the horses taking them from gate to wire. Once again, we see an inside out bias with a huge drop if you wear number 8 or out. Early speed, Terry, in the race where early speed matters for race number 6. It looks like Parish Bell will be fast.
Yep, just like the race before, the number 4 has most speed, although there is a little speed from that 3 and that 5, sort of like a sandwich there. The 4 has the overlay, which is supposed to be like, I don't know, what's 1 to 2, I guess, or close to that. It's supposed to be like 8 to 5 in the morning line. 5 and 6 have the best C-zone numbers. So we just don't know, but the 4 should get to the quarter pole first.
4 should definitely have a chat at that quarter pole. We'll see if that's indeed the 3 horse. Looks like the lone E-type, the one that wants to be on the lead. The best worst idea. That sounds like some of our plans. You do have the 1 horse here being the first-time starter, so you're not quite sure what it's going to bring. The 2, the 5, and the 7, that trio hasn't been close to the winner at the finish line. Looks like the 3 and the 4, the 2 horses that want to be up front, should be the ones setting the tone, although some of these will be right behind with the 5 and the 6. Late speed, again, you see the 4 horse up in there with the 6 horse. The 4 horse gets to the lead, does have some strong late pace. You can't pass what you can't catch, Terry. And then finally, the early speed, late speed combination, as you'd imagine, the 4 horse catching a 6-point advantage over the 5 and the 6. Would not be at all surprised to see the 4, 5, 6 in some order in the trifecta. Terry, what do you say?
Well, I like the 4 as my first pick, Paris Bell. She finished second in all 3 of her career races. The shorter distance should help, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. The 5 is my second pick, Fly High. Drops in class today. Lasix is added, and she has a trainer who wins 36% of the races when using first-time Lasix. Then I like the 7, Marvelette. She drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Sundog, the 6, is my long shot. She has finished in the money in 3 out of the last 4 races. I don't bet. I'm not going to bet any money, so I'm going to save it for the next race.
So Rich Lane going back to race number. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to do this. I forgot. Now we got it right. All right. So in race number 4, Rich Lane likes the 1 horse. So we go back to race number 4, and that horse is May the Horse Be With You. Saw him win on March the 15th, surprising everyone. Time for a repeat win, place, and show. Fantastic. Looking for that. And then Razor and Wilson M going to get together over at Delaware Park, I suppose. Terry, did you just go through or did you make your picks here? What do we do?
No, I went through and said I didn't have a bet, so it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we just went through the data or stuff like that. So I'm going to go with the 5 horse in here. Fly High, flying high again. Ozzy, remember that in 8th grade. Debuted at Belmont. That was way back in July. Was very well bet. Had all sorts of problems in that race. Otherwise, it might not be in this one. Has the best pedigree. There you go, Charles, by a very wide margin. Parish Bell finished second in all 3 races. So concerned this one likes to maybe hang a little bit. Is dropping in track from Churchill Downs. Another that's been off since almost a year, since last July. Plenty of decent works getting ready. Number 3, best worst idea. This one is making its second start after a claim for trainer Jose Ramirez. In the 9 times he's put a horse out for the second time off the claim, won 4 of them. Does also have a little bit of early speed in here. And finally, the 7 horse Marvelette, track dropper from Churchill Downs as well. Gets first-time Lasix. I don't think I saw Kendrick's name on any other, Kendrick Carmouche. So Kendrick's coming in to ride just this horse, although I think he lives in Delaware too. The works just aren't all that inspiring to me, but if a horse gets off to a good break, you know Kendrick likes to be up front. I don't have any bets here either, Terry, because I spent almost all of my money. I do have one coming up in race 7 again, though.
Yep.
In the 7th race, speaking of, second to last race, they're going to run a mile and a 16th on the turf, Mr. Terry. This is an allowance $16,000 for the purse. Nice purse, 28 grand. I'm sure the winner will be happy to collect his 10% of that. At a mile and a 16th on the turf, tactical speed, which is an interesting thing because if you look at this race at this distance, you can see up here there's a little bit of a chute that they come out of, right? And then they come out of that chute and then they make that turn. Tactical speed is the way it looks on paper, but it looks to me like you either want to be first or you want to be last. I don't think you want to be in the middle because 43% of the horses have gone wire to wire. None of them won from the rail, so Royal Luck will need some luck to get that done today. The best was 4 through 7, 2 and 3 and 8 and out. Play just a touch under par, Terry. So either be fast or be slow, but don't be in the middle. If you're going to be fast, it looks like Gunslinger could be the one, along with Pettis Phils.
Yeah. Well, the 10, 8, and 2 have speed, but it's anybody's guess who's going to get there at first. The 2 has a nice overlay. It's supposed to be simulated odds like 8 to 5, and it's listed at 10 to 1. And the 11 has a little bit of an overlay, supposed to be under even money or above even money, just under 2 to 1, and it's at 5 to 2. Most of these have good C-zone numbers except for the 6.
Yeah, really strong numbers on the inside and the outside. So barbell approach to that one. The seventh race looks like a pretty balanced race. You have a little bit in the front, a little bit in the back, a little bit in the middle. So this will probably be a race where being in the right position matters the most. You just don't want to be on the rail, apparently. If you want to back the early speed types, Gunslinger does have some early speed, although you have to be a bit concerned with the 10 horse being an E-type and lead dependent with all the speed to its inside. I'm sure they'll make him work to get the lead. The late pace belongs to the 2 horse, Fortune's Fool, although most of his work has been on the dirt. Hasn't really shown that on the turf yet. Maybe the 8 horse will be the beneficiary of that. Early speed, late speed does belong to that 2 horse, the EP type, Terry, that did get that strong overlay. The 11 horse fits right in there as well. I wanted to put the 2 in there, but I didn't because he didn't show anything in the couple turf races that he had. I hope I don't regret that, Terry.
All right. Well, I like, I hope you don't either, but I like, and this is my pick of the day at Parks. I like Brody's Maker, which is the 11.
Mm-hmm.
He has perfect record at Delaware Park, winning the only race he's competed in. Drops in class today, has won 6 out of 9 starts on the grass, so he really likes the grass. Second choice is number 10, Gunslinger. He has won 5 races out of the last 7 starts at Delaware Park. Number 3, Kobla Mas is my third pick. He finished third versus on the dirt in his last race and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. I like Wicked Finn as my long shot. The 6 ran second versus Tougher in his last race. Drops in class today. I'm going to bet $10 to win on the 11.
So this is the race where JT Bruce said he likes the 6 horse Wicked Finn. He's going to do a trifecta 6 over the 1-7-11, over the 1-7-11, the old-fashioned trifecta key. That's how I actually, the first bet I kind of fell in love with when I first got into horse racing, the trifecta key. I'm going to do a trifecta here too. I like the 11 horse too. Bodie's Maker on the turf 9 times out, won 6 of them with a second in there. Won the only race that it had on the Delaware grass. It does have some versatility in his game, which I think is going to be important in this race with a lot of horses to his inside that want to giddy up and go. Samurai Sunset, most of his turf races, if you look at them, would be good enough to win here. My only concern for this horse is the time off in the layoff. I didn't really get a sense of how the horse responds after an extended stay in the barn. Pettis Fills should improve second after a layoff. The last time the horse made a second start off the break, it was shipped into Delaware Park just like today. And guess what? It won. And that horse does have some very good late pace numbers. So again, remember, be first or be last. Gunslinger, you can't ignore the fact that this horse has gone to Delaware Park on the grass 7 times, won 5 of them, but it is lead dependent, and I am worried about all that competition to the inside. The last time the horse ran from the 10 post and had a lot of speed to its inside was its worst race in the last 10. So I hope I don't see a repeat from that. It was a really hard call for me over that 6 horse, JT Bruce top horse, Wicked Finn. I'm going to do a try 7, 8, 11 over to 7, 8, 11, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11 for me. And that brings us to the last race of the card today, Terry. Race number 8, going back to 5.5 furlongs. This one is an allowance for $8,000, purse of 22 grand. Again, at 5.5 furlongs, you're looking for some early speed, 40% nearly. Go wire to wire. Big inside out bias, big drop from 8 and out if that's the post position that you unfortunately draw. Mr. Terry, inside speed looks like in the 8th race, we do have a little bit of inside speed with our Every Lynn.
That's right. The 2 has the inside speed, most speed, but the 4 and the 5 may have something to say about it. There are lots of speed in this race, as you see. And anyway, the 3 has a nice overlay, supposed to be 5 to 2, simulated odds listed at 6 to 1. The 5 is 6 to 1, simulated odds 10 to 1 on the morning line. And then the 8 is about almost 4 to 1. It's like 7 to 2. And then it's listed as 6 to 1 on the morning line. All of the horses, but the 3 and the 9 have really nice season numbers, or pretty good season numbers.
In the last race of the day, what can it tell us about how they've run in the past? Well, they're all bunched up in the middle there, so kind of a groupie race there. Again, another one that probably will favor horses that get a good trip. The 4-horse could be on the lead. Well, it looks like our Avery Lynn with a 6-point advantage over a whole host of horses in there. So I would expect that PC type to get to the lead, although it doesn't need the lead. So I think you'll probably see an even pace with this race early on. Marvelous, the 7-horse, Marvelous. I guess that's what, Billy Crystal? Marvelous, right? If you remember that.
Yeah.
Look at that really strong late pace. 15 points better than anybody else, Terry. If that horse is anywhere remotely close coming out of the turn, it could be next to impossible for anybody to hold that one off. Late speed, early speed combination, 7 and 8, Marvelous and Prospera. A little bit of an advantage over the 3 and 5, but not that big of a deal. Looks to me like it could be a very competitive race to close out the day, opening day at Delaware Park. Terry, close out your picks for us.
Well, I like that 7 Marvelous. She takes a major drop in class today. Likes Delaware Park, winning 2 out of 5 starts here, and the distance won't be a problem. Number 2, our Avery Lynn is my second pick. She finished 3rd versus tougher in her last race, drops in class today, has a high speed figure at today's distance. Let's be honest, is the 3-horse, my 3rd pick, finished in the money in 4 races out of her last 4 starts, winning 2 of those races, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And then the 8 is my long shot, can either lead or come from off the pace to win a race, which is an angle I like. Ran 2nd versus similar in her last race. As a trainer, wins 27% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. No bets because I'm out of money.
Yeah, I know that out of money feeling, Terry, because I am too. I'll start with the 2. Our Avery Lynn, down in class. You can't ignore a horse that seems to absolutely love to run at Delaware Park. Ran there 8 times, won 5 of them, and finished 2nd in the other 3. So a 1st or 2nd finish, very likely for a horse that does like the distance too. 8 times out, 2 wins, 4 seconds in the 3rd. Marvelous drops from a pair of non-graded stakes races. 3 good workouts in between them. Number 5, Cabra Chica. I'm not a fan of the pen shippers, but this one done most of its work at Parks, has tried Delaware a couple times with a win and a 3rd. It is a huge fan of the short sprints. 6 of them, 4 wins and a 3rd. And then let's be honest, is going to close out the show for picks for me. This one ran better fractions at 7 furlongs in its last race than it did in the prior start at 6 furlongs. So I think cutting back to 5.5 furlongs mean the horse can go all out from beginning to end. No bets for me either, Terry. And that wraps up all of our picks today for Delaware Park. Here you can see the entirety of them with race 2 about to get started. Terry, you and I won't be back tomorrow, but Charles will hopefully be back. He and I will absolutely do Horseshoe Indianapolis because Belmont's not running and Churchill starts too late.
Okay, well, that sounds good. People appear to be happy with that.
All right. You got it. Yeah, because I just forget always to flip us around so that our names match where we are on the screen. Yeah, hopefully, Rich, your what's going on up there is working better than in this, Rich. Again, tonight I will be with Sean. Tonight we will have the track announcer on, so it'll be a lot of fun talking about harness racing as well as thoroughbreds. Should be another good show. Sean and I always have a good time when we get together. Again, tomorrow will be myself and Charles for Horseshoe Indianapolis. We'll start about 20 minutes, 15 minutes before first post. Friday, Tom and I will be back for Foreign Fridays. We're going to do the Curra. I don't think we'll do anything for Saturday. I think we're all going to kind of sit back and relax, enjoy the 3-day weekend. But Terry and I will be back on Monday. And should we do Parks or should we pick a bigger track that'll be running on Memorial Day?
I don't know. I like Parks on Mondays, but it's up to you. You make the decision.
Well, maybe we'll pick one that has some nice stakes races for Monday, and we'll that way we can kind of cover some good stakes races, and then we'll do Parks again on Tuesday, unless Parks has some strong stakes races.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, I think that's a good idea. If you haven't done so yet, kindly hit the like button. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on all of our social media sites. Pretty easy. Horse Race, the number 2 day, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also, and again, the thumbs up help us with the algorithms. Mr. Terry, let's look and see how long we have to race number 2 here. It's going to probably be a few minutes, I imagine.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes.
Run a little slow, right?
It's a little 2 minutes, so we got about 2 minutes.
Well, then we will get out of here and let everybody enjoy their hump day. Hump day, hay day, Terry.
That's it.
Any final thoughts before we get up and get out of here today?
Yeah, just everybody be safe. Have a great rest of the week. Tell your loved ones how you feel about them, especially if you love them.
And if you
never
don't,
know.
you know what? Some
Yeah.
things are better left. You can lie. Little
That's
white lie
right.
would never hurt.
But you never know what's going to happen in life. Things happen every day, and the older I get, the more they happen. So anyway, have a great week. I hope you do good at the races, and let's keep this weather away.
Indeed. Well, we certainly hope everybody has God's favor, God's grace, no matter what you're doing on this hump day, Hollywood hay style. We hope it ends up in one place. And Mr. Hollywood Hay, that can only be
The winner's circle.
Again, thank you for joining us. Look forward to seeing you tonight with Sean and tomorrow with Charles. Have a fantastic Wednesday.